Hello guys and welcome back to another FRL race. We are here in the 100% League at Hungary tonight. I would say I am joined by someone on the comms, but I'm not. I'm too used to introducing on the podcast, but here we are. There we go, all set up. We're away for the formation lap. So just going through the grid there, we've got Matteo in second, Kevin in third, Liverpool fan in fourth, well, fake Scouser in fourth, Ginge in fifth, Trades in the AlphaTauri in 6th, Jay Hartnell in 7th, got BGR in 8th, Heroic 81 in 9th in the McLaren with Wild Dog in P10. I believe he is in the Alfa Romeo, and that he is. I also apologise for the lack of knowledge on this series. I decided to do commentary about 20 minutes ago, so we live where we learn, guys, but I hope I can put a show on for you. I was hoping for a better view there, down there, looking for the optimal view, like looking at the cars from the front, not the back, but we'll see if that changes when it's lights out. I'm not sure what's happened there, but we'll go with it. 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go, looking like a pretty good start there from the front two. And so we have seen carnage at the back of the field there with Eat My Dust retiring. Very unfortunate for him, but we lead into turn 1 with the Williams. Matteo following through in second place, and we have a safety car already. Wow, okay. That may have been to do with what happened at the back. I didn't really see fully, but I think Eat My Dust may have driven into the back of someone, or maybe William drove into the back of Eat My Dust. I might be wrong though. Won't make any assumptions. It will be interesting if anyone chooses to pit. Obviously I think William will anyway, as he is without a front wing, so that's pretty obvious, but I think it'll be interesting to see if anyone does pit. Maybe some soft runners come in now and just gamble potentially. We'll have a look and see. That is the gap, that is the interval, and let's have a look at the tyres. I'm not really too sure though, but I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe saw 1 or 2 come in, but it seems like a bit of a risk, especially as everyone's on fresh tyres with the 100% league, so that's not going to be an issue to begin with. I'm expecting. Has Swinney pit? Swinney has pit. He is on softs. It's going to be interesting to see if he has damage. Dixon is pitting as well. Is he having a wing change, or is he genuinely just pitting? No, he's genuinely just pitting for mediums. Okay, cool. Dixon as well doing the same. So I kind of said that I was expecting people to pit, but I didn't really expect that to happen. If anyone in the chat knows what happened at the start, then if you let me know, because I think it was a bit glitchy with the camera angle. I wasn't really sure what one to go for, and I just saw a wing at the backs. Okay, Dixon let me know. It looked like Moody didn't move off the line. Okay, thanks for that, mate. It looked a bit unfortunate, whatever happens, to be honest. Also hards to the ends, master plan from Dixon. I like it. Oh, if you put hards on, apologies, I thought you put mediums on. So who actually, let's have a look while we're still looking at this. Let's have a look. Can we look at position change? There we go. Position change. So Ginge down 1, Saw up 1. Gameful Oz was very gameful actually, no pun intended. Well, there was all the pun intended, but he's up 4 positions at the start. Kobe up 1, very good clean lap from him. Very good opening lap, sorry. Dylan also up 4, and then we've got Aguero up 5 along with Max as well. Moody down 5, obviously very unfortunate for him. Think he may have had a start line problem. Safety car is in this lap, so we'll be back under green flag racing, which is what we all want to see. The real question is, when will he bolt? It's looking like it's gone quite early actually. Trying to build that gap for Matteo, although it is only 5 tenths, so will Matteo get a run down into turn 1? Very close. It looks like Kevin was caught a little bit napping there, with Bruce now right behind him as well. Is Matteo going to go for a lunge into turn 1? I think he is too far back on this occasion. I'm going to take the position change off because that is going to annoy me. There we go. Looking back now, who is closer? We've got Tor 5 tenths behind Bruce there, and we also have Dylan there 3 tenths behind Aguero, now 2. Is anyone going to be shaping up for a move now? I don't think so. It's quite a hard track to pass, but we do see jumping back to Tor now, who is now 1 tenth, and I'm not sure if Bruce went wide there or if he was pushed wide, but Tor is now up into P4. Let's see what he can do, see if he can catch Kevin. Although I don't think Bruce is going to let that one go easy. Now 7 tenths. Will he try and maybe go for a move on the start finish line? Then we've got Ginge 1 second back with Hartnell 8 tenths behind. Now got BGR only 4 tenths behind Kobe as well. This is looking like a little bit of a train behind Wild Dog in the early start of this race. As we see at the back there, Aguero going a bit wide, losing it, and loses out to Dylan. Going back to front now, we've got Kevin 5 tenths behind Milo's there. Now 3 onto the final corner. Surely this is going to be a move into turn 1 from Kevin here. Using that ERS, I don't think Matteo will be, to be fair, but down the inside into turn 1 and into P2 as we have a yellow flag as Bruce has retired from the race there. What has happened to Bruce? Has he lost it on the main start finish straight? I think his car's now gone, has it? Must have been on the start finish straight there, but we have a yellow flag. I'm not sure if there will be a safety car at this point. We see there has been a move there from Aguero and BGR. They seem to be battling very, very closely actually at this stage of the race. As we see Dixon now going up around the outside of Max there for 15th place, obviously on those hard tyres. Swinney also making up good ground. These two did pit under safety car, the only two to do so. Obviously William did as well because of damage, but these two were the only two that chose to pit under safety car on that one. As we looking back and we see Aguero now, who has spun it there. So he's now down to 17th position, now 18th, as Moody has now passed him. Not too sure what happened there. Let's go on board with Dylan, who is 4 tenths behind Wild Dog there. I do see that Armaguna is now a 10th behind BGR. DRS is now enabled. It's looking like it could be a move from into turn 1 from Dylan here. Let's see what Kobe's DRS is on, 80%, so we will have a lot to defend with. But I do think this move is going to be done by Dylan. Going to the outside. There are quite a few moves going on in the background to the outside. A little bit of a nudge there from Kobe. Round the outside from Dylan. Can he make it stick? Brilliantly done. Great racing by both drivers there. And up into P8 for Dylan, P9 for Kobe. Let's see who else is closest on track. We do have William now 2 tenths behind Heroic, with Dixon just in front and Swinney then in front of him as well. I think there were quite a few moves on the start finish straight actually, kind of all happening as Dylan was overtaking Kobe there. It's looking like a bit of a train. Let's go to the, it looks like to be Armaguna, maybe Kobe leading this train still. And it is looking like that. The two Alfa Romeo teammates there in 9th and 10th. Will Kobe play the team game as his teammate is on the soft tyres, I think? He is. So will Kobe play the team game there and not make it too difficult for him into turn 1? I'm not sure if he's really going to have a choice going by how quickly he is gaining and the difference in these tyre compounds. And Wild Dog has let him through there straight away to get DRS. That's as we see a DNF there for that was for our race leader from Aldrich there, who is now, I believe he's in the wall on the right. There he is, has lost it on the exit of turn 1 and retired. And we have another safety car. Surely these soft tyre runners are going to pit now. And this will be good news for the likes of Swinney here and Dixon, who have already made a stop. Obviously a long way to go in this race for sure, but this will be very interesting. So we now have Kevin leading with Matteo 2nd, Tor 3rd, Ginge 4th, Jay Hartnell 5th, Game for Odds, Dylan, Armaguna, Wild Dog and BGR the top 10 at the moment, with Swinney in 11th. Bowie, I need a shout out. How are you, my friend? Big Nimpy. Are you in the race, by the way? Apologies, but I'm not sure if you're in the race. Your name's different. So but a shout out for you, my friend. Anyway, tyres on 2%, absolute mass class. I do think that as well, Dixon. Obviously, Swinney is going to have to pit before the end, obviously, but still a good choice. Let's see if anyone does pit at the moment. No, we've got quite a few medium runners, and the soft runners have stayed out anyway, so ignore what I just said. Scenario 7 would be leading this. Where is Scenario 7? Oh, he's not in the race, I get it. do see a pit stop there for Armaguna on the softs and for Heroic 81 Heroico. Apologies if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, by the way, but I'm saying Heroic. If that is wrong, please correct me. But making a pit stop there. What tyres are they both going on? Going on to another set of softs for both drivers there. Interesting. I've really thrown myself in at the deep end here, guys, as well. I've not done comms in a long time, and I've gone straight back into it for 100% with no preparation, but that is what we live for. That's what I do. I put myself in bad situations, but we're going to make the most of it. Everyone will get the chance to recharge their ERS there as well. Obviously Kobe moved up a place because of the people who pitted in front of him. What is going on in front here? Bit of a mismatch. Is Dylan just overtaking these guys? Is he disconnected? That's... Oh. I'm not really sure what's happened there, but I think that the order might have changed a little bit. There we go. Does that reset it back? Nice. Yeah, I think that's what it was before. This is going to be very interesting, so let's have a look at the stops. So we've got 6 drivers who have made a stop at the moment, but obviously, you know, I see it's not much different in tyre wear, obviously, because it didn't really matter from qualifying, so I'm not really sure how this one's going to pan out, but I know that the soft drop-off is quite high at this track, so that could pay dividends. Going to go back to Kevin now as the safety car is in this lap. When will he bolt? Now, I do not know if Matteo is going to go for a move here. He may have to go for it early. And there's another yellow flag. Oh no, back to green flag now. My mistake. And Kevin there comfortably into the lead for turn 1 with Matteo behind and Tor in 3rd. Ginge currently in 4th there. I was trying to go back to these guys here. Change of position with the Haas drivers as there is contact slightly there with Dylan, I believe, and his teammate Gainful Odds. But he has made the move up into P6. Gainful Odds now is 7th. Wild Dog in 8th. Under attack from BGR right there. Is he going to go for it round the outside? I think that might be a bit risky. Backs out. Probably the wise decision there. Obviously a long way to go in this race. See, Aguero has overtaken Moody. Moody looks to have dropped back there. May be a mistake looking at the arrow, looking at his icon, sorry. As you see Wild Dog going a little bit wide there. Is Dixon going to go around the outside? He does go around the outside. What a great move from Dixon there. And William is trying to follow suit, but it had to tuck in behind on this occasion. Swinney also up into P9, also passing Kobe this lap. Let's go back to the front. Where are we looking in terms of who is closest? There could be a move for Dixon or Swinney or both on the start finish straight here. They are looking quite close, but we see Dylan is 3/10 behind Jay Hartnell. Is he going to go for a move? We will jump back to the other guys in a moment. I think Dylan is going to get this move done into turn one there. Hartnell probably sensibly just following suit, try not to lose as little time as possible. Maybe going for the switchback, but it is not on. As we see Swinney and Dixon staying in the same places there. No move on the start finish straight. Bit of a DRS train. It's looking like, well, a slipstream fest at the moment. Going to go back to these guys and just see them follow each other through here. Looking very close at the back with William and Wild Dog. Shaping up to be a very interesting scrap with these two. Obviously now only 2/10 behind. Surely Williams going to be thinking about a move into turn one, trying to set up for a good exit. As we see Dixon now 3/10 behind, 2/10 behind Swinney there. No move doing as of yet. Same with William. Definitely going to be setting it up into turn one. I see a comment saying, how do I join this league? I will send a apologies, I lost train of thought. My Discord is in my Twitch link, my friend, so if you message me on there, and I will send you a link to the league. As we see Swinney now in the slipstream there of Game for Loz. This is going to be incredible. It's going to be 3 or 4 wide potentially into turn one. Swinney down the inside of the hash driver and makes it stick into P7. Game for Loz. Is he going to come back at Swinney there? No, he's not, but there's been contact! Contact with Dixon, both drivers into the wall and out of this race. 4 into 1 definitely does not go. I'm not sure who was really at fault there, but that looked like it could have maybe been avoidable. Everyone going for the same piece of track there. Very unfortunate for both drivers. Apologies there, Elliot, but yes, I will give you a link. If you message me on Discord, I'll give you a link to the server. It's a PlayStation 4 league and 5, so obviously if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5, then you're more than welcome, and we will arrange a trial for you, my friend. This race has had everything after 12 laps. That was shaping up to be a very interesting battle. It looked very close, so obviously these things can't happen. Dixon, if you're still in the stream, mate, very unlucky for you. Very unlucky for you indeed, my friend, but we go again next week. Elliot, my friend, I don't actually have an Xbox. I do have a PC though, but I'm sure we can work out something in the future. Maybe if my streaming takes off, I can buy one of each console. Absolutely fuming. Yeah, I bet, mate. I bet it. I didn't really get the best view of it from, like, I was on board with the hash driver, but I didn't see where you were or really where everyone else was. I kind of chose the wrong moment to go back on board with him. It looks very close though, but I think you're still going to be leading the title anyway, yeah, so you're still going to be leading the standings for next week. Just got to hope that Kevin doesn't win this race. Maybe. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream though, my friend. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Have more races like this that will be being posted on the FRL YouTube, so feel free to check those out. Maybe one day we could convert you to a PlayStation guy, who knows. See, Moody had a penalty there. Did he speed coming out of the pits? No. Got 3 seconds, okay. Did he cross the line? He might have crossed the line on the pit exit. I'm not too sure. But I don't think he had it when he went into the pits. Did he have a... it just had multiple warnings. Okay, fine. There we go though, 13 laps into the 70 lap race and we've already lost 5 drivers. You can't even make this stuff up. But Mylander definitely earning his money today. Probably led the most laps so far, actually. So, yeah, you love to see it. So, people still not pitting now. How far can you take these soft tyres? Is it 16 laps? Or is it 16 to 20? I'm really not too sure. But I assume that people might be trying the one stop. Potentially. With how everything's turned out at the moment. Safety car is in this lap. I'm surprised others haven't gambled to put the hards on and do the Dixon master. I mean, I guess it didn't work out well for Dixon as he hasn't finished, but had he, it would have been the master plan. So let's get rid of these tyres for the restart. There we go. We'll get rid of that too. As we see, Kevin is about to lead the field away on lap 14 for the, I think this is the third safety car restart now, and it is looking like he has got a comfortable lead there into turn 1, as he did last time. Put out 7 tenths Matteo, or only 4 tenths behind. These two are very close and very good friends, so definitely not good friends on track though. And we see Dylan putting pressure on Tour as well. He seems very quick at this track today. Definitely seems to be moving up places. Going back, we've got Hartnell in 6th, Swinney in 7th. Going back to the closest battle at the moment. Although I do see William and Wild Dog are battling. Still, William cannot get past Kobe there. This could be a race-long battle between these two. Also very good friends off track, but definitely not friends on track. Swinney now 4 tenths behind Mr. Hartnell. To see Jack DNF in the stream. How are you, my friend? Let's go back to 3rd place Tour, going up to start the next lap. He's surely going to try and get a move on Matteo into turn 1, but Dylan obviously not far behind, just lurking in the background there. Could he be the one to pick up the pieces if these two hold each other up? Obviously on the medium tyres as well. Definitely showing that he's got great pace at this track. Tour gets a snap of oversteer there. That might cost him a chance at Matteo into turn 1, and might lose him P3 by the end of turn 1. Lost P3 before he gets to turn 1 by this straight. Although he is staying in Matteo's DRS in his slipstream. It really helped him keep hold of P3 there. Great driving from all drivers there. It's looking like Dylan's going to go for a move up the inside, and does send it up the inside of Tour there. A little bit of contact, but I think that's pretty fair, to be honest. I think it was just a hand in frustration from Cody's. Very good move from Dylan there, up into P3. Now he's going to be pressuring Matteo for P2. Let's see who else. We see William. I've seen a yellow flag as Wild Dog is now back into P11 behind William and Armaguna. I'm not too sure what happened there. These guys are very close together again with Matteo, Dylan and Tour. This is looking like the closest battle on track at the moment. Ginge and Jay Hartnell and Swinney and BDR all being pulled into this battle as well. If you look at it, it's looking like a bit of a train. William not too far behind. I genuinely cannot call this. I know it's only lap 16, as we see Dylan going a little bit wide there. Is that just to get a better exit? It is. Right on board with Dylan. I do think Dylan is going to get this move done into turn 1. Out of ERS though, very interesting. Now using the ERS to go down the inside, but chooses to back out of that one there. Not too sure why. Maybe he's just saving some fuel, maybe. As we see, Max has lost a position and is now down into P13. Armaguna and William are now battling side by side. William maintains that P9. Good defending there, good attack from Armaguna as well. And Kobe now not far behind these squabbling duo. That might be a warning there. Let's go back to Swinney in P7, who is 3/10 behind Mr. Hartnell. These guys are now on the back of this train. It's going to make things very interesting. You can see Matteo and Dylan up there in front still squabbling. Tor, Ginge and Hartnell. This, I mean, I think we can all call P1, but P2 downwards, I'm not too sure at this stage of the race. Tor seems to have dropped back a little bit. I'm not sure if he has damage, maybe. Maybe he's just upset his rhythm a little bit, but he seems to have lost a bit of time there. As we see Dylan, I think Dylan might be going for a move here. DRS now is going to be a much easier move, and it is going to be done before the braking for turn 1. Is Matteo going to try and switch back him and go down the inside? He is not, thinks better of it. Ginge has now overtaken Tor as well. Tor down to P5. Or is Tor going to get the switch back on him? He's going to use a bit of ERS. Send Ginge defensive. Is Tor going to go and try and hold it around the outside? It's looking like he's going to do it. No, not quite got the tyres there. What's Mr. Hartnell saying now then? These guys are really all into contention now. Obviously lots of different tyre strategies as well. It's going to make things very interesting. He's going to ride on board with Tor, outbraking himself a little bit there. What's Hartnell going to do? Is he going to switch back and get him down the inside here? It's looking like that's what's going to happen. Why is it gone there? Down the inside, no contact, great driving by these two. Well held around the outside from Tor there, great defensive driving. Very opportunistic as well from Hartnell, it's what we love to see. Tor is definitely struggling at this stage of the race. Swinney got a lot of ERS, so does Jay. Tor has used a bit of his battery, but still on 64%, so, you know, he's not completely out of it. But he has dropped back. Ginge quietly there, just lurking behind Matteo. And Dylan has now pulled away as well. But let's go back to start, finish straight. It is looking like Hartnell might be going for a move here on Tor. Is he going to send it to the inside? He does send it to the inside. And Swinney also sends it to the inside. That was very late there from Swinney. I'm not sure if that was just overspeed that maybe misjudged, but I don't think contact was made. I might be wrong though, but he's holding it round the outside now. Is Swinney going to go for it, or is Tor going to send him to the cleaners? Tor doesn't. The space is given, and that is great racing there by these two. Little bumper wheels, but I think that was probably as on the limit as you could get. Both drivers showing a lot of respect. I'm not too sure on the turn 1 though. I'm not sure if Swinney may have pushed Tor wide, but it looks like he just went for it, and Tor gave him the space and saw him coming. It's been a very exciting race so far. And these guys are not disappointing. Armaguna now, is he going to make Tor's evening even worse, dropping him down to 8th potentially? Maybe Tor might pit this lap and go for an undercut and try and just get on some fresh tyres and get back into a groove. Running a little bit wide there. Is Armaguna going to send it now into the right-hander? It's looking like he is. Tor gives the space again. Great defensive driving there from Tor. Armaguna's going to stick it. Ooh. Well held from Armaguna. I'm not sure if Tor saw him, but could have maybe left a little bit more space potentially. But let's see now. BGR is on the back of Armaguna in DRS, but William is in his DRS as well. Let's run on board with William here and see if we can see what unfolds in front of us. Armaguna going to the inside of Tor, as we then see BGR going to the inside and choosing to back out, and William just says thank you very much and takes him right round the outside there. Great racing there by William. Up into P9, very unfortunate obviously at the start with his wing change, but he's definitely back in the zone now, that is for sure. As we see Wild Dog there, back on board with Wild Dog, and he has put it in the wall. That is another safety car. Now down to 14 runners in this race. I caught the end of that crash there, Kobe. You'll be pleased to know. Oh, this race has had everything. Lap 20. 6 cars out. Oh, hello mate. How are you? Sorry, I thought you were saying it's Armaguna that retired. I was looking like, no, that's definitely Wild Dog. What are you talking about? Very good race so far today, my friend. You've been getting involved, which is nice. Good, clean battling as well. Hope you're enjoying it. And obviously still 50 laps to go, so anything could happen here. I was going to say, surely people are going to be pitted now. Dylan is going to take the lead, choosing to stay out there. Kevin going on to those medium tyres. If I know Kevin, and I think I do, he might be trying to take these to the end, but I've been proven wrong many a times. As we see, Matteo has pitted from those softs, putting on those medium tyres. Jay Hartnell has stayed out. Swinney has stayed out. Who else is going to be staying out? Kevin has rejoined in 4th place on those fresh mediums, but Swinney is his main rival in the standings, and you can bet your bottom dollar that he is not going to just bend over and let him through. Mr. Hartnell is the king of defensive driving, and we've got Dylan, who has been rapid this race. So the safety car could change a few things up in the strategy. Who knows? I'm going to have a lot of fun clipping some parts of this stream after. Let's have a look at the penalties then. I think it's only those 3 drivers with 3 seconds. Yes. You would have been around P3, 4 now. You would have been, mate. I'm glad you're staying in the stream though, keeping me company. I rate that highly. Who do you guys think is going to be victorious in this race then? I'm expecting Kobe to join the stream soon, and say Kevin. No, just joking. I would like Kobe to join the stream, the 2 soon though. DNF to win, I like it. Come on Thor, mate, it's hammer time. You got this, you got this. Fresh set of boots for Thor now, so he could get back in the zone. They have constantly quit the game, but we stay and watch, is what we love to see, Dixon. I hope I'm putting on a good show for you guys. Moody for the win. I mean, Button did it from 14th. Moody can do it from 12th, no questions asked. How do I see the tyre condition for the drivers? Not like that. I swear there's a way that you can see it. It's definitely going to be very interesting indeed. This safety car restart. Oh, you just got to guess. Okay, interesting. Right. They look sound. That's my guess at the tyre wear. Obviously, Swinney's going to have a bit of an advantage over Jay and Dylan, but only by 2 laps, and then Kevin's going to have a 22 lap tyre advantage. So it's definitely going to be interesting. Very importantly for Kevin as well, Max there, who I believe has stayed out on those mediums. Yes, and he got in between Matteo and himself. Ginge is now right behind on the soft tyres with Matteo on the medium, so these two could maybe come into a little bit of duelling as the safety car is in this lap. Lap 22 of 70. Will we get any finishes at this rate, actually? I think Dylan's gonna... I'm not too sure what Dylan's going to do. He might bolt early. You've seen a few drivers do that. It's looking like he's not doing that. As we see collisions there at about 5-second time penalties. That is not ideal, as Dylan has decided to go with Jay Hartnell. Got a bit of a gap to Swinney, but Kevin is right behind. There we go, looking forward to Swinney. Is he going to go for a move into turn 1? It's looking like it, but I think he's a bit too far back and wisely chooses to not make that move. As we see Matteo on the inside of Max there, up into P5. He really needs to make that work for his race and gets past the McLaren driver. What is Ginge going to do? Is he going to send it? No, he is not. Tucks into place. Only 1/10 behind there. We see Hartnell now 1.4 behind Dylan, who is kind of bolted at the moment. This could be very interesting for the race if Dylan can pull out a good gap over Kevin, if Kevin gets stuck in traffic, which he is at the moment. See Swinney losing the back end a little bit there. Is Kevin going to go for it here? That's very ambitious, but Kevin has gone for it. Still side by side. Great driving from those two there. Is Matteo going to go for it down the inside? No, he is not. Very opportunistic move there from Kevin. I do like that indeed. Not sure Swinney will be very happy for losing a spot there though, but now Kevin is going to go up the road and try and catch Jay Hartnell as we see another yellow flag. It is William who has spun and lost his front wing again. Very unlucky for William there, who's going to box. I don't believe that's going to be a safety car because everyone is past as we see Dylan now has a 2.2 second lead to Hartnell, who is only 3/10 ahead of Kevin. Is Kevin going to try and go for it around the outside here? Oh, is he going to go for it down the inside? Great defence there by Jay, not just letting this happen. Is Kevin going to try and go for it? Oh, a little bit of contact there. Is he going to send it now down the inside? This is very ambitious. Wisely chooses to back out. We are now coming up to Kevin's favourite corner though. He does like making overtakes around this sector. And it's looking like he's going to do it on the other side now. There we go. Past Jay Hartnell in second place. What a move by Kevin again. Either side of Swinney and Jay Hartnell there as we see Ginge gets a 3 second time penalty, which is not ideal for his race. Matteo now behind Swinney. Is he going to be able to get past these guys as easily as Kevin? Most likely not. Jay looking like he's dummying going into the pits there. Jay's going to get DRS from Kevin though, so all of these guys are not. No, they're not because. No, they're not. I lied. Getting ahead of myself here. Just purely in the slipstream as we do see Armaguna there trying to make a move on Ginge, but does just slot back into P7. Tour up the inside of Max. Is Max going to come back at him? He is coming back at him. And he regains that position into P8. Great work there from Max. 2/10 now Matteo behind Swinney. As we see Tor now still battling with Max there. And now he is up into P8. Max down to P9. Armaguna's getting very close to Ginge, and Ginge is getting very close to Matteo. Swinney and Hartnell are kind of being roadblocks at this stage of the race, but they don't care. This is for their race. Will be interesting if Matteo gets past Jay. Will Jay let him through? As we have a yellow flag in sector 1. Is that William and Moody there? William has span. Moody lives to fight another day. Well, they both do. Back to the start now. Kevin now the gap to 1.8. Will he be going for a move on Dylan soon? As we see Swinney in the slipstream and the DRS of Mr. Hartnell. Is he going to send it into turn 1? No, he is not. All following suit there. Very wisely. As we see Hartnell, Swinney and Matteo making contact there. I am not sure what happened there, but Matteo is now out of the race. Very similar. As we got another safety car on lap 26 of 70. Will we be here till tomorrow morning? Who knows, guys. But that looked very unfortunate for Milo's there. I'm not really too sure if that was just a racing incident coming together. Does Swinney have damage? And also are these guys on the mediums now going to use this safety car as an opportunity to pit? BGR there on to a fresh set of mediums. William is pitting again from hards. Is he at risk of getting lapped here? No, he's not. Yeah, Michael for Shock win that comment age well. I mean, you never know, he could still get it after pitting now, but you're right, Dixon, this is getting... yeah. While the safety car is out, I'm going to take a quick break and grab a glass of water. I will need it. Hey, I am now back. This Bowie fella seems a little sketchy. Have I missed anything on my quick drinks break? I hope not. Oh, wait, is Mr. Hartnell pit? He has, Swinney stayed out. Okay, so Hartnell has used that opportunity to pit. Swinney has not. Who else pitted on that lap? Full map, sorry. There we go, that's fine. I guess saving your battery won't be a problem this race. Plenty of recharge laps. Okay, so looking back through the order, Dixon, 10 laps of fuel now, I think. Yeah, exactly. How many laps do we think each tyre can do? Because I'm going to see if and when people are going to pit again. So obviously Swinney will be 25 laps on those mediums, but how many laps can they do? Obviously it's 100%, isn't it? So it's going to be a lot more than it's going to be double 50, obviously. So I think Swinney's going to do a one stop and hope that the others have to pit again. The only driver that I don't, well, P8 Heroic may not go, he will go to the end. Obviously if Dixon was going to from lap 2, then surely he will be going to the end. So this race is far from over, guys. Literally far from over. Long way still to go. 7 laps away from half distance. Kevin nearly drives off the track there in excitement. But there we see, he is going to lead the field away again for the 4th time, I believe, from a safety car restart. As we see, Ginge is actually quite close to him there on the restart. I don't think he's going to really go for a move here. He is using a lot of VRS. Is there going to be a lunge into turn 1? No, there's not, wisely so. It's looking like Mr. Hartnell is going for a move here on the McLaren. So is CH Max there, down the inside of Mr. Hartnell. Great move there. Past 2 drivers then, I believe. Hartnell up 1 and then down 1. As we see Tor now 2 tenths behind Swinney. Obviously there's going to be a big tyre difference with these guys now. Swinney running it a little bit wide there. Hopefully no warning if you lifted off the gas. Dylan obviously right behind. Oh, Dylan must have pitted as well then. Of course, sorry, I missed that, guys. But Dylan now, as we see Tor down the inside of Swinney and has got that move done. I literally went on to Dylan and Swinney got overtaken. I do apologise there, guys. Obviously struggling on those tyres at the moment. Armaguna only 3 tenths behind Ginge as well. Second and third places there. As we see 2 drivers going out the inside there, Dylan making slight contact, not wanting to give that spot up, but Max goes right round the outside there. Great move. I think Dylan goes into the pit lane. I'm not sure if he had damage at that point, actually. You see Max there now up into P6. He's been on fire on these softs at the restart. No worries, Dixon, mate. I will speak to you soon. Hopefully I'll speak to you later or tomorrow. But thanks for joining on the stream tonight, mate. As we see Max now only 2 tenths off Swinney. Swinney's got to be struggling on those mediums now with Max's fresh softs. So much more grip on the brakes, but obviously running a little bit wide there. And we see Aguero now closing the gap. Can he maybe try and pick up the pieces along with BGR and Mr. Hartnell as we have a yellow flag? Where is that yellow flag? It's looking like it's in front. As Armaguna has gone. Armaguna is off the track there. Little spin. Now rejoining in 11th place. Not too sure why that happened. We got Tour with a time penalty. Is Max going to go down the inside here and take P4 from Swinney? Enough space left there. Great race in there. Great defensive driver from Swinney. Max going to send it around the outside. He's going to drive all the way around the outside by the looks of it. Swinney tucks in now into 5th place. A great move there from Max up into P4. Can he now chase down Tour? As we're now on lap 31 of this 70-lap race with DRS now enabled. Is Swinney going to maybe try and send it back with... No, he's not, because DRS isn't actually activated yet, so that was silly. But there we go, Aguero now in P6 with BGR. Looking like he's going to go try and go for a move, but I think he got a bit of a snap on the exit. So no move doing here. Hartnell here just lurking in the background. He's got a nice gap behind him, so he can kind of just sit back on those fresh tyres and watch this sort of unfold at the moment. Let's see Dylan there now onto the hard tyres. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he has shown great pace in this race, so I'm pretty sure we will see him a lot further up come the end of lap 70. Forward now through the middle sector with the Aston Martin of Aguero behind his teammate. Lovely comments there from Eat My Dust in the stream, rooting Tour on. Definitely fought back really well from your tyre drop off early on in the first stint, but you do have Max closing in on you for P3 there. As we see, Armaguna is now up the inside of the McLaren into P9 on his recovery. Obviously McLaren is on hard tyres, probably going to try and go to the end, so let's see what happens. Kevin back-to-back wins for today. That could well happen in the FRL. The FRL goat there, 3/10 behind now for Max, and a battle for third. So much more grip on the braking there. Into turn 1, is he going to go clean around the outside? Activates DRS, has the inside line. Tour wisely just tucks in and follows suit. And what can Max do now? Can he start to close in on Ginge? Although Ginge is on soft tyres also, and is quite comfortably in P2 at the moment. Obviously the second, third, fourth and sixth have penalties, so this could be very interesting come the end of the race. There's a bit of a train now behind Swinney on those worn tyres there. Although, going by the comment that Dixon said, he's expecting around 35 to 50 for the softs, as we have a yellow flag sector 2, and that is the McLaren there of Heroic, who has gone off on those hard tyres. Does he have damage? I don't believe so. Maybe just a spin at the death curve there, very unlucky. Is Hartnell now going to go for a move down the inside? Decides to back out of that one. I think the Williams driver is going to be trying to get a move done on both these Aston Martins. Swinney stays out for another lap. He could try to push these to 50 and then go on the softs, you know. So let's see what happens, but it's proven very difficult to pass parts of this track. Although, as Kevin has proved, it's very easy at certain parts as well. Is the Aston Martin going to go to the inside? Swinney goes defensive. Is his teammate going to hang around the outside? No, but he gets a very good exit with DRS. Swinney is going to try and defend as much as he can, but he thinks he knows this move may be done. He's going to hang it around the outside. Watching on board here, Swinney does hang it around the outside. Great defensive driver there from Swinney. They're still side by side. All the way up to this fast left. I think Swinney is now going to have to concede this move, but what racing by the Aston Martin teammates there. Putting on a hell of a show for the FRL here tonight, boys. Now with BGR very close to Swinney, and he's definitely wanting a piece of this action. Hartnell still sitting patiently behind, watching this all unfold. That was unbelievable racing there. As Tour is now out of the race. He's lost it. His wheel has come off. And that is a heart-sinking moment, because there's another safety car. But there we see Tour with his wheel off. No! Very unlucky for you there, Tour. Surely Winfield is going to pit this lap. He can't pit this lap because his teammate's just overtaken him. That's going to hurt. That might hurt a lot for Winfield there, but he could try and pit next lap. Although it's looking like they've already caught the safety car. That is going to be painful for Michael there. Oh, that could be painful, you know. But as we see, Hartnell stayed out. Hartnell did stay out. Oh god, this is incredible. We've got 12 drivers left. William in there for another wing change, but I mean he's still going, and at this rate he's going to score points anyway. Oh, I'm absolutely gutted for you, Tor. Absolutely gutted. I know if Rizzo was in this race, he would have underfueled by about 7 laps, and it would have been spot on. So, I just can't believe how many safety cars we have now had. So many, well, there's been quite a few unfortunate incidents. Obviously, I didn't see what happened with Tor. William getting a penalty under safety car there. Unlucky, I guess. But I mean, yeah. Is Swinney going to box this lap? I don't think he's got a choice. He's staying out. Although I guess, no, 15 laps, he's going to try and go to 50. I think he's going to go to around 50 and then pit for softs at the end, surely. So right decision to stay out, because otherwise he's going to go back to the right to the back of the field. See William in the pits again. I'm not really too sure why this one's for, what this one's for. Anyone else in the stream though, pop a message in, keep me company, how you doing? Hope you are enjoying the race tonight. I certainly am. Makes me wonder why I ever stopped doing commentary. It's definitely great watching these guys race, that's for sure. This is going to be an interesting race, because I do think the likes of Armaguna and Dylan are going to be pushing now, try and get back up the order. Their safety cars really helped those guys after their unfortunate offs earlier on in the race. I'm not sure if I can repeat what you've just put there, Armaguna, but yes. Unless you're meaning pens still in hand. That makes much more sense. If that's not what you meant, then I'm curious, but you know. Safety car is in this lap. If I was a betting man, I would predict Kevin to be first by turn 1 and be quite comfortable with it. He seems to have got these restarts quite spot on, but Ginge seems to be very close to him on the exit there. As we see, oh, there's a 5-second time penalty for Dylan, but is Ginge going to go for a move into turn 1? It's looking like he might. Not quite close enough, but he is going to try and follow Kevin through here. Gets on the power. I think Kevin gets a much better exit there, though. Ginge then has to go a little bit defensive there for Max into turn 3-2. I see Swinney there in P4 still. I thought for a brief moment Ginge was going to go for a move into turn 1 there and make it stick. Very nice try though indeed. You can look back now and see Dylan 9 tenths behind us. There is a yellow flag. That is William again who has lost it. No damage done, but very unfortunate for him, as we see Moody with a time penalty there as well. Not what you want to see from the elder statesman of the division. So Ginge getting a little wobble there. No damage done though. It's looking like BGR is going to be putting Swinney under a lot of pressure. I'll be very interested to see what his tyre wear is. getting a good exit there from Swinney, actually, to be honest. Very nice exit. A little snap there from BGR. May not be able to get this move done into turn 1. Might be a bit too far back. See Ginge going defensive from Max. Is Max going to hang around the outside? Not sure if the grip's going to be there. It's looking like it might be there. As we see, Max now does get that move into P2. What a move there. And Ginge tries to go back up the inside. Not sure if there was enough space for that move to be on. But no damage done by the looks of it. And both live to fight another day. Second and third just reverse positions now. Just having a look to see what is going on. Swinney doing very well in fourth still to keep these guys behind. And all of these want a piece of the action on board with Jay Hartnell there. See, we can see the guys battling in front. That's a lovely shot. As we see, Dylan has left the session. That might be a connection issue. We did have a connection issue under the safety car earlier on in the race. As we see, Ginge has gone a little bit wide there. Did Ginge maybe get damaged? But we see Swinney's going to send it around the outside. And does get that move around the outside of the final corner. But he's now going to be at risk of a slipstream train here. As we see BGR going for it, but has to tuck back in. There's just not enough straight line speed. And Swinney gets that move done. And BGR round the outside of Ginge. Is he going to get that move done? Slightly goes off the track there. These two are now side by side into the left-hander. It is looking like this move is now done for BGR. Very nice move there indeed. Is Hartnell now going to go through on Ginge? No, Ginge does defend. Runs a little bit wide in doing so though. Now Ginge has now gone off the track. Hartnell round the outside. I think Ginge let him go there. Very wisely done. Very fair there, to be honest. And Hartnell now up into P5. Swinney in P3. Still holding on to this train. I'm gonna check that he didn't actually pit. No, 35 laps on these tyres, so he did not. Getting very close to the rear of Swinney. There is BGR. I can see a move coming on into turn 1 as my TV is about to turn off. That is never good. Going to be right on board with DGR with BGR, yeah, DRS enabled. Swinney goes defensive. Is BGR going to get this move done? Where is Swinney? He's going to keep it on the inside. Oh, and there is a little bit of contact there. Not sure if that was wheel to wheel, but Hartnell picks up the pieces and goes up into P4. I'm not sure if there was just not enough space left there or if that was just an unfortunate wheel contact. As we see Moody going through on Armaguna there. Up into P6 for Moody. Hartnell now chasing down Swinney. As we see Hartnell there up the inside into the chicane. That's a great move there. I'm not sure if Swinney got a really bad exit there and just had to lift off. Maybe ran wide on the fast right. But Hartnell nonetheless up into P3 and says thank you very much. PGR will be probably not very happy at the moment in that cockpit. But let's see what can be done. Is Swinney going to try and keep onto Hartnell's DRS there? As we see a yellow flag in Sector 2. As that is Ginge that is now gone. Ginge now down into P12. Not too sure what happened there. Swinney now in DRS, but I do think, although I don't think BGR can exit the slipstream because Swinney's just going to get pulled by Jay, so he's going to have to try and get this move by getting a good exit. Although again, I think Swinney gets a really good exit there, and just not, the straight's just not long enough for him to get that move done at the moment. He needs to focus on getting a good exit out of the final corner. As Armaguna has been disconnected by the looks of it. As we now have a yellow flag in the sector 3. Ginge has retired. I think that is just retiring in the pit lane there. Nothing to worry about. No safety car on the way. Ginge has now left the session. Very unfortunate for him there. He was having a very good race at the early stages. You see BGR here. I still don't think he's close enough to get that slipstream, to get that move done, because Swinney's being pulled along by Jay. And Jay just quite comfortably just keeping him within range so that he can't really attack at the moment. These guys are the closest out on track. Kevin still leading the way by 3 seconds, as Kevin does now have a time penalty of 3 seconds. Me Man with 9, Aguero with 11. I'm quite confident that a lot of guys still have to pit again. I'm not sure how confident, but I am quite confident to say most people will be scoring points here as well, as we see BGR getting very close now. 3/10 as Swinney has now dropped out of DRS from Hartnell. This could be bad for Swinney for not being able to keep BGR behind him on the start-finish straight, but let's see. As BGR has now lost it on the exit there and has now retired. Moody now up into P5 with a VSC as Swinney ducks into the pit. That was perfect timing for him. Very unlucky from BGR there, who has now retired and is now falling down the field. And it is now a full-course safety car. Another one, as they would say, as Swinney now with a wing change as well and putting on fresh mediums that will go to the end. Obviously I think he started on the softs anyway, so obviously he's had his change of tyre as the safety car has just stopped in the track. Not really sure why that's happened. Oh, he's waiting to collect the leader. Okay, that makes much more sense. Are these guys going to pit? They probably will, you know. I think Max will. He needs to pit again anyway. Those softs are not getting to the end. I wouldn't be surprised if most drivers use this opportunity to pit. But I have been proven wrong quite a few times, so, you know. Kevin does pit on lap 42. So does Max. Is Hartnell going to stay out? Hartnell is going to stay out. Is Moody going to stay out? Moody is also staying out. These two are now going to go into first and second. Obviously, we've got Horatio. I think that's how you say it. I apologise if not. Obviously now staying out as he is on those hard tyres. Kevin has rejoined in P2. So, fair enough. And now we've got the McLarens in 4th and 5th. Moody in P3. Swinney now P7, but obviously on fresher rubber. But as he proved in the in the middle stint, it's very hard to overtake on this track. Most of the time. I think we are going to have another lap of safety car. Only 10 finishers in this race. So we have now lost BGR, Ginge, Tor, Matteo, Wild Dog, Gameful Odds, Dixon, Aldrig, Fake Scouter and Eat My Dust from this race. I do believe the safety car will be in this lap. It's definitely going to be very interesting and very hard to keep up on the remaining laps here, but we will do our best. Is Kevin going to go for a send on Mr. Hartnell into turn 1? Let's see how tyre live. Hartnell could try and go to the end. But let's see what he does at the restart. When is he going to bolt? Not yet. Now he decides to bolt. I think Kevin is still going to see there. Moody was kind of caught napping a little bit. And it is looking like Kevin is going to go for a move. But I don't think he's actually close enough. He's not going to go for a move. But we see Max there going for a move on Moody into P3 there. And we also see Swinney up to P6 now, just behind Horatio 81 there in the McLaren. See Armaguna now losing a spot and then regaining a spot by the looks of it. And then losing it again to Aguero. Nice little battle that these guys are having. As we see Swinney now up into P5 with a move around the outside. The McLaren driver there going to be chasing down Moody. I'm not too sure what's gone on with the interval, to be honest. I don't know why that's disappeared. So I can't really see where anyone is, like how close they are, but let's have a look. As we have another yellow flag, is that Armaguna doing a little spin there? No damage, and he continues. Oh, this is really annoying with no delta. As we see, Hartnell has now been overtaken by Kevin. Kevin retakes the lead, and we see Max very close to Hartnell there, pushing very hard indeed, with Swinney pushing Moody to the max. And I think Matt's going to get this move done into turn 1 as the delta is now back. That is what we love to see. Now a 10th between these guys. Down into turn 1 there. Is Hartnell going to try and switch it? No, Hartnell gives that position very wisely so there. Just probably wanting to lose as little time as possible. Swinney and Moody now battling for 4th position. Moody going a little bit wide. Is Swinney going to get a better exit and maybe try and go around the outside of Moody here? This is going to be very, very bold as Swinney does it round the outside but does go a little bit wide, as does Moody. And he gets that position into P4. Great move there from Swinney. Great respect given by Moody as well, as we see William is now having a little trip across the grass and is down to P8. Closest guys on track at the moment are these two, 6/10 apart for Swinney and for Moody. We now see Dylan is 2 tenths behind William. Is he going to be shaping up for a move in his DRS? Is this a ghost? Is this car ghosting? I'm not too sure if it's actually him or not, but I assume so. He's going for a move because he's actually like chasing William down. So these guys could be going for. Oh, okay. As we see Armaguna there, just driving straight through Dylan. Armaguna's definitely in this race, and he wants a little piece of William round the outside. And does he get that move round the outside? He does. Great driving there from Armaguna on the move with William there. As we see Dylan, is Dylan going to go for a move into turn 1? No, he is not quite close enough on this occasion. As we see Kevin there has pulled out quite a big lead, well, a fairly good lead there to Max. Obviously Kevin on the medium, Max on the softs. Hartnell now in P3, Swinney's going to be closing him down, that's for sure. Obviously a big difference in the tyres, but we know that these guys are probably very evenly matched, and it is a hard track to pass. But Swinney is gaining, pulled out 2.2 seconds on Moody already since overtaking him with 23 laps to go at the end of this one. As we see William and Dylan are battling still, 3 tenths apart. Nothing doing at the moment. Is Swinney going to go for a move down the inside into turn 1 with DRS enabled? Looks like he got a very good exit there in the slipstream of Mr. Hartnell. Pulls out to the right hand side and into the podium positions into turn 1 there. Hartnell, is he going to try and switch back? Swinney has the DRS to pull away. Hartnell not in the RS, just kind of trying to bring it home in 4th, but obviously still 22 laps to go, so anything could happen. The field is kind of spaced out now at the moment. Obviously just on board with Hartnell here following Swinney. Just going to use this time while we're kind of in no man's land at the moment with the race. Just going to have a little look at the standings and see what the current points would do. I do believe it is top 15 that get points. So I might be wrong on that one though, but I do believe it is top 15. As we see now, Armaguna is only 3 tenths behind the ratio there. Is he going to go for a move round the outside into this corner? Armaguna there kind of just takes the optimal line, and the McLaren driver just backs off there, probably wisely so. Knows he's going to be getting points anyway. So very sensible there, good driving by both drivers. Is Swinney going to be closing in on Max here? So we see Max is now only 1.3 behind Kevin. This could be shaping up for a fairly interesting end to the race if neither driver has to pit again, although that is very wide from Max there. Let's have a look at the penalties, and it's 3 seconds apiece. Mean Man Moody with 9 and VBG Aguero with 11, William with 6 and Dylan with 8. If Dylan pits again, I assume he will get one of those, get 5 seconds off, well, serve it in the pits anyway. It's now 2.1. I'm not sure if Kevin just had a bad lap that allowed Max to close the gap there. Let me know how you guys are doing in the chat as well, what you think of the race. Who do you think is going to win this race? Let me know. So we're riding on board with Kevin. You can see Max in the background. 2.1 seconds now. Kevin with 34% ERS. Max with 6. That could explain why the gap was coming down. Obviously doing a couple of push laps, 25.7 behind. Hartnell, you can see there in 4th, 1.5 further back. As we see Aguero is 1 second off Moody. There could be a move shaping up with these two, maybe next lap potentially. And Dylan is 1.1 behind William. Now 9 tenths with Moody and Aguero. And right on board with Aguero at this time. See if we can see him pulling in on Moody, losing the back end under acceleration there. Well held, could easily spun there and there as well. Oh, commentator's curse, let's run on board with someone else just for the next few corners. And there we go, all is back to normal. As we see, William gets a time penalty there for more multiple warnings. As we have a yellow flag in sector 1, is that William out and loses another front wing? Very unfortunate for William there, but stick it out because you are going to score points this race regardless. So box for a new wing, get on some new tyres and just do a couple of time trial laps, I'd say. Just get to the end, my friend. See, Aguero there had a very scruffy middle sector, it must be honest. He was losing the back end quite a lot. Both on the same life of tyres there. Swinney, I'd say the top guy, well, I'd say first and third are definitely going to the end. I'm not sure on anyone else. To be fair, Max could go to the end, but his tyres might drop off, so it could be a battle for second and third. If Hartnell can get these tyres to the end, then very well done, but I'm not sure if he will. Although I think I'm quite off with the tyre deltas and what they can actually do. So as we see, William is in the pits. I hope that's not to retire, and it's not. Hats off to you, my friend, for sticking it out. I'm trying to get to the end there. Gap now back up to 3.4. I think Max's slim chance at gaining on Kevin there has maybe come undone. It's been a great effort though, must be honest. As we see Swinney now pulled out 3.2 to Mr. Hartnell. The field has kind of stabilised now. Just going to look at the standings. Knowing my luck, every time I look down something happens that I miss, so let's not do that. Okay, so looking at the current standings, and it is 40 points, and I believe 1 point for fastest lap as well. So Dixon will take, obviously, the 40 points. I'm not sure who's got fastest lap. Let's have a look. Not on that one. There we go, and it is Kevin. So he is currently on board for the win and the fastest lap. Obviously still a long way to go in this race that has already seen so much action. As we see another time penalty there for Aguero, which is not ideal because he would have jumped Moody. I think he would have jumped Moody, so as we see a penalty for Swinney as well from the front guys. So Swinney, that's very unfortunate for him because he could have potentially tried to gain on Max at the end when his tyres dropped off. But not all is lost. The podium for Swinney would be very good. It would get him 27 points there. And we'll gain on Dixon. Both drivers will gain on Dixon, but obviously Dixon will still be leading the title, leading the standings after this race. Hartnell in fourth will be 20 points for him as well, so I'm just going to look to see if that will move any drivers up. As we see, Armageddon now 9 tenths behind Aguero. Is he going to be going for a move into turn 1? I think he is a little bit too far back, although he does seem to be gaining very quickly. But no move on this occasion. Very nice following a grow there on board with Armaguna. As we see, they are both slowly. Are they gaining on Moody? I don't think they are. I think Moody's just kind of consistently at a sort of 2-second gap there. The field has definitely stabilised. As we see Armaguna now 4/10 behind these two, the closest battle on track by far. 15 laps to go as we see Aguero lose in the back end there. Oh, wrong person. Oh, that's just gone so wrong. Apologies, my mistake, but there we go. Armaguna now up into P6 with Aguero losing the back end, but he will have DRS and a lot of ERS, but I don't think he's going to be able to make an impact at the moment. He's just going to have to try and stick with Armaguna here and use his extra ERS to full effect, but he spun it and lost it on the exit of turn 1. No contact with the wall luckily, and will stay in 7th position I think, but we'll just have to try and work a bit harder to close that gap, as he is now losing the back end. Got to clean those tyres up. Is Armaguna now going to close in on Moody? He is closing in on Moody. Swinney now 7 seconds behind. Hartnell now 6-second gap there. 1.1 now Armaguna though. Armaguna and Moody. He could potentially try and push a little bit further on and maybe try and get Hartnell and Swinney, but I do think he's going to run out of laps, and that all depends if he can get past Mr. Moody himself. Although Moody is pitting. This is going to be for softs as Moody loses it in the pit exit, in the pit entry there. And there is the yellow flag in sector 1. Who is that? Is that Swinney that has gone round? Swinney has gone round. Is Hartnell going to get this move? Let's put Hartnell right on the tail of Swinney there, with Moody pitting. Armaguna now 7 seconds behind. Can he catch these two and make this a real battle for 3rd? Obviously Hartnell without a penalty, that is really going to be upsetting for Swinney there. Now got to try and pull out a big gap to be safe and maintain his P3. Let's see Armaguna now pulling in on them, 6.6 seconds now behind Hartnell. Can we see them on track on his point of view? Just see Hartnell disappearing there in the distance. I do think Swinney's just regained a little bit of composure there and just cleaned his tyres up. He knows he's got the fresher rubber, he can try and pull a gap, but Hartnell will never give up, as we all know. Fun fact, the last time I did comms on 100% have a penalty all race at Baku. Will the same thing happen here again today? Don't want to tempt fate, no commentator's curse here, but let's see if that happens. Armaguna though has gained so much on this lap. Now he's in clean air, now 5.8 seconds behind Hartnell. Very good mention for these two for not getting penalties, and also for Horatio 81 there for no penalties at this moment in time, 57 laps down. Not that he's 57 laps down, you know what I meant. 8.1 seconds now the gap. Kevin has well and truly pulled the gap he needs to win this race. As we see, Moody has now overtaken Horatio there. I think Moody's on fresh softs. Yes, he is. Hartnell now 1.3 behind Swinney. The tyre difference is really showing at this part. Armaguna now 5.2 seconds behind Hartnell. These two could come to battle probably around 5 or 6 that time. That is a lie because Hartnell has now pit for soft tyres. I'm assuming that'll be for soft tyres. After doing 29 laps on those mediums. Max in P2 may have to pit again. I'm not too sure if he will though, but yeah, fresh set of soft tyres there for Hartnell. Let's see what he can do in the closing stages of this race. As we see, Aguero has also pit there, so could Mooney get the jump on these guys? Although he did crash coming into the pit. Quite a freakish incident there, but is Moody going to be able to get the jump on Aguero? Looking like it. Hartnell's already a few postcodes down the road there as Moody moves back up into P6. Let's see of the tyre life for everyone else actually. Will Armaguna pit? Armaguna is probably going to pit actually, or he might try and hold that to the end. But his tyres will be quite dead, so Hartnell may be able to close the gap, but that is a big ask at 15 seconds. Armaguna is pitting as well, exactly a second down on his lap at the moment. Swinney just needs to get into a rhythm and do not let that gap get below 3 seconds to Armaguna, and that podium is his. But with 11 laps to go, you never know. Anything can happen in the Formula Racing League. Now a 3-second time penalty for William. Those of you guys still in the stream, let me know your predictions. Who do you think is going to win this race? My money would be on Kevin at this stage. Not sure if P2 has to pit again. Swinney definitely going to the end. Armaguna may have to stop again, we do not know. So definitely going to be interesting. Just looking at the gaps at the moment, the field is now well and truly spaced out as we see Dylan there. I think he keeps disconnecting. DNF, give me a prediction that I can actually ask, that I can actually say on stream, please. But you're not wrong. What? Just kidding there. Kevin to win, Swinney then Armaguna. Nice. Max to bin it. Interesting. Riding on board with him now. I do think he is going to have to stop again, you know. Although it is only 10 laps. I'm so undecided. I don't really race 100%, so I'm not really too sure. You think there's going to be another safety car VSC with only 10 laps to go? I mean, we had 7 in the first 3 laps, so that could be possible. Or someone will spin it. That could happen actually as well, you know. We've had quite a few mistakes in this race. Obviously, it's a very demanding track, and 70 laps of Hungary. Hats off to everyone still in the race, and to everyone that was battling earlier on. It feels like a lifetime ago that we had Matteo and Tor battling for P2 with Ginge. But these things happen, and obviously with Dixon as well, very unfortunate at the start there with Gainful Odds, so it feels like that was yesterday. Less than 10 finishes is your now prediction, DNF. Very interesting indeed. The thing is, I think the field is so spaced out at the moment, the only way we're going to get another DNF is if someone actually bins it on their own. Unfortunately. Or maybe if you get someone pushing to try and get a position with a penalty. But even then, I'm not really too sure. The gap between Swinney and Armaguna has been 6.6. Well, it's been around the 6.3, 6.7 mark for a while now, but it's now starting to come down a little bit more again as we see Swinney in the distance there. What are the pens? Let's have a look at the penalties. There we go. 3 seconds for the top 3. 9 for Moody, 9 for Aguero, 12 for William, and 8 for Dylan. Which, I mean, yeah, it's not really going to change anything at the moment. None of these penalties will. The only one that is looking likely is Armaguna, if he can pull in 3.2 seconds on Swinney in the final 8 laps of this race. That gap with Armaguna has now come down as well. 6.3 back to 6.4. It's kind of staying around this gap. These two obviously both pushing very hard indeed. Swinney's going to want that podium, especially with Kevin winning. He needs to keep himself in the title fight. Just looking, we see a yellow flag in sector 2. Did Kevin just lose his car then? I think Kevin might have had a little off. He did. Does he have wing damage? Kevin's missing a wing end plate. He's going to have to pit this lap surely, and does pit this lap. He's going to have to put softs on, but he's going to get jumped by Max. And by Swinney, I think. This has put a massive spanner in the works with 7 laps to go, sorry, including this one. On to the soft tyres there for Kevin. And he's going to rejoin. Swinney is going to take that P2. And he is not going to give that up easy. He needs to pull in these points. If Swinney finishes in front of Kevin here, he will jump into second in the standings. And Armaguna has jumped Kevin as well. Kevin now down to P4. I missed the incident on track. I saw the yellow flag and I couldn't get to my controller in time to actually see who it was. But that is really not ideal for Kevin, especially with his penalty. Armaguna does not have one. So he's going to have to pass him and pull those 3 seconds. And then catch Winnie, and then catch Max with 7 laps to go. I do not see that happening. See Kevin now very, very, very close to the back of Armaguna there. Is Armaguna just going to let this go and then try and stick with him? As we see, Kevin's basically pushing him around the corners at the moment of this track. Definitely going to go to the inside here, easily down the inside. So much more grip on the fresh tyres up into P3. Kevin means business, and I'm pretty sure he will be on the back of Winfield very soon. The other question is now going to be, will Max's tyres get to the end in P1? Because if they don't get to the end and he gets a puncture, then that will also throw a spanner in the works. Obviously 6 laps to go, so you'd like to think that won't happen. It's only 4/10 off his personal best in sector 1, so I'm guessing his tyres are still kind of in pretty good shape there. I would not have predicted this final result at the start of the race. Obviously, it is not the end of the race, so it might not be the final result. See, Kevin now is pulling in massively on Swinney. Swinney is slowly closing in on Max as well, but I don't think he's going to have enough laps to really pull that in. Fastest lap there from Kevin by some margin with a 16.7. Now 3.1 behind Winfield. Winfield has now gained 7 tenths on Max in the last lap. This is going to be shaping up to be an interesting final 4 laps there. As we see, I think William got past the McLaren driver there into P8. Now 8.2 seconds. Are Max's tyres going off now at the end of this race? How many laps has he done on these tyres? Has done 22 laps on those softs. I think Dixon said 20 to 30. So they will be, if that's correct, it will be within the window, but obviously he's going to be losing a lot of performance now at this stage of the race. 7.8 seconds now, but more importantly, Kevin 1.5 behind Winfield here. Is there going to be a change for position? Could Kevin potentially still get a win here? I know that might sound a little crazy predicting that, but we know what this guy can do, and he's on the freshest tyres on the field, now 7 tenths behind Michael. Surely there's going to be a move here into turn 1. Another fastest lap there from Kevin. Is he going to go to the inside? Swinney's not really going to defend. Down the inside into turn 1. And he takes P2, but is Winfield going to come back? No, he is not. Time for the signature. Nice move, Kevin, up into P2. 4 laps to go, 7.3 seconds is the gap. Can he do it? It's going to be a big ask, but I'm sure he's going to give it a go. One thing to catch, another to pass. I mean, I think Kevin just proved that he can pass anyone. But let's wait and see. Now 6.5 seconds. He really means business, does Kevin. Now it's now 5.6 as we see a yellow flag in sector 3. It's be a crash on the final corner there. Is that wing damage? No. Well, potentially actually. For Aguero there. I think he actually got away without any damage there. So very well done indeed. Now 4.7 seconds, 4.8 seconds the gap now. And another fastest lap from Kevin. I think he might do this, you know. What do you guys think in the chat? Let me know. Can Kevin claim victory after that mistake? He is catching very quick, DNF. You are correct. Still thinking P2. It's now 4 seconds. It's going to be under 4 seconds now. 3.8. This could come down to the final lap, and I think Kevin knows that. He is pushing, using a lot of ERS. Max is also using some. If I was Max right now, I'd know Kevin's closing. I would not use ERS at the moment and save it all for when it matters. 2.5 seconds. I think Kevin could do this on the final lap. I really think he could. I really think he could do this. .4 seconds is the gap. Kevin can see his next target. There he is. Exit in turn 1. He just needs to get in his DRS for the start-finish straight on the final lap. I say just. Sounds easy. DNF. Now 8/10 of a second he's in DRS range. Is Max going to be able to hold on? ERS button is flashing there at the back of the car. Kevin will see that and use that as confidence, even though his light will also be flashing. They are on very... As Armageddon now gets a time penalty. That pretty much cements a podium there for Swinney. And is Kevin going to go for this move around the outside here? I think probably wise to back out of it. It worked for him earlier on in the race. Doesn't need to make it now. Is he going to go down the inside now? No. Definitely going to save it for the final lap into turn 1, I think. 18% ERS. Both of them have the same ERS, but obviously Kevin will have DRS. Will Max get DRS from his teammate there? Kevin pushing him around the final corner. So much more grip. Is that going to cost him? Max does not have DRS, so Kevin is going to go to the outside. Max is going to defend. Is this move going to be done into turn 1? Max tries to hang on, but does not have the grip to do so, as Kevin takes the lead on the final lap of the race after making that mistake a few laps ago, needing a wing change. This guy is on another planet. What a comeback from Big Balls Bowser. That is absolutely phenomenal. Setting purple first sector as well. Is he going to set the final fastest lap on the final lap of the race? Probably not. His tyres might be gone, but it would be a nice thing to have. Already pulled out over 2 seconds to Max there. Jay Hartnell still hanging on with the only, well, him and P9 without getting penalties. Hats off to those guys for sure. As we see Kevin now 2.9, 3 second gap. Rounding the final few corners here now. As we see Kevin rounding the final corner to take victory in the 100% race at Hungary. What a brilliant drive there from Kevin. Max there in P2. Again, a fantastic drive from him. Swinney, great battling today. And a really good P3. Armaguna, very unlucky. Probably could have been a bit further up without some of those spins. But he will be very happy with P4. Mr. Hartnell finishing this race in P5. No penalties to his name. A cracking result for him. As we see Moody here and William are the last two to cross the line, with 8th, 9th and 10th being a lap down. So Moody is going to take the checkered flag in P6. Very good race from him there. After his misdemeanor in the pit lane, crossing line to take P6 in the Alpine. William now up to P7. I've got to say, even though it wasn't his best race, he's probably going to be a bit upset with some of his spins. A very well done for actually finishing this race and still finishing P7. Staying committed to the end there. That is what we like to see, and getting the rewards for it. Across the line in P7 to finish this race. That was tricky and tough, but very exciting. As we see Matt's going to drive in the day there. To be honest, he is a contender for me, but I've got to give it to Kevin as my driver of the day personally. Throwing out some copies of the game. What a guy. Wins the race and gives to charity. You can't ask for anything more there. What a podium. What a race. So much excitement. What was your best part? Let me know. And hopefully I'll be back next week to do this all over again. As we see the final results, Big Bull Bell's taking the lead. Max in P2 after starting last. It was genuinely a great race from him. Same for Swinney. Great race in P3 from 14th. Armaguna from 15th to 4th. Jay Hartnell in 5th. Moody 6th. William 7th. Horatio 81 in 8th. Aguero 9th. And Dylan rounding out the top 10 and the final finishers, losing BGR, Ginge, Terades, Milo's Wild Dog, Game for Lords, Dixon, Aldridge, Fake Scouser and Eat My Dust. I hope you all enjoyed tonight, guys, And as I said, hopefully I will be back again next week for more amazing racing in the FOL. But until then, I will see you next time.